Hello. If you're watching this part 2, please refer to part 1 for the questions that I'm not going to answer in this video. Last where we left off is how I suggest people open carry both their handgun and their rifle. Okay, so we covered how to carry the handgun and the rifle in the last video. Try to be courteous when you're walking. You can't see it from the video, but my barrel is actually sticking past my legs. Try to be courteous and walk to the side through a crowd. Same thing goes with this. I'm going to be carrying an American flag too, on a pole. It's a 3x5 flag, I believe. The pole is maybe about that long, give or take. If you want to carry a flag, just be responsible with it. Make sure that it's not flopping around or the pole's not flopping around and hitting somebody. To touch back up on the long gun open carry portion, as you can see, I have my bolt disabled. If you can get an orange bolt flag or bolt highlighter, if you're carrying like an AR-15 or an AK and you can't lock your bolt back, I suggest you do that. The reason why is, God forbid, we have a police encounter. This will ease their minds that there's no round in the chamber, no ammo in the gun, and the bolt is disabled. Versus the bolt being closed and locked, cocked, and ready to go and having extra ammo pouches. I suggest you bring no ammo. For the long gun at least. If you absolutely positively want to bring more ammo, and you have to bring it, but I highly suggest you do not have a round chambered in the long gun, because if this is laying on my back and it's chambered, if somebody really wanted to mess with us and somebody really wanted to hurt the Second Amendment cause and the constitutional cause in general, all they'd have to do is come up behind me and pull the trigger, and next thing you know, the gun discharged. And we don't want that, because that then will be our fault. Now, I'm still going to have to do research on this. The question of ammunition and magazine capacities have come up, and this is the best information that I know at the time. I just got off the phone with the Virginia State Non-Emergency Number Firearms Department. He informed me that different cities have ordinances about ammunition and about magazine capacity. To the best of my knowledge, Richmond is not one of those, but I'm going to look at it. These are all AK mags. This is a 30 rounder. This is a 20 rounder. This is a 10. This is a 5 rounder actually. Under the state law, even if these are empty but in your gun, you're still breaking the law, because you're openly carrying it for defense. If you were going to a range and you had a bunch of empty 30 round magazines, that's not the case. But if this is in your gun, or if this is even on your person, empty, not any bullets, but empty on your person, and you're openly carrying, by having these empty on your person or in the gun, you're breaking the law. I'm not going to force somebody to go out and buy a 5, 10, or 15 round magazine, but they do exist. You can buy them for AKs, ARs, and other high capacity platforms. But let's say I had my AK. I have one on layaway. And I had this in the gun. For safety purposes, I would not even carry it loaded. I would probably even leave this at home. But if you have a 5, 10, or 15 round magazine, I go back to the next question. The next statement. I please ask you don't carry it loaded. And if you want to, if you absolutely have to, I'm not going to stop you. Don't carry it chambered. That's the one thing that I'm going to say please do not do. Do not carry a long gun chambered. Now onto the flyer portion. This is how it goes. You take your finger and you keep a flyer readily to go. That way you're not doing one of these numbers. You walk up to a person. You don't get too close into their grill, but you're not far away saying, "Hey, would you like a flyer?" And you say, "Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir," whatever gender they are, "would you like a flyer?" "No, thank you, we're good." "Thank you, ma'am, have a nice day." Walk on your way. "Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir, would you like a flyer?" "Yeah, what's it about?" Brief description. You can tell when they're wanting to pull away because they do this number. While you're talking to them, they're doing this number right here. Just at that point, continue giving them a brief description. If they get interested, if they do one of these numbers, if they start asking questions, go into more great detail about it. Talk about what we're all about, what we're doing. And then answer their questions to the best of their ability, best of your ability. If you don't know how to answer their question, refer to somebody else in the group. I'm not the leader, first off. If there's another person who's with us that knows more information about it, ask them. This is where it would go bad. "Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir, would you like a gun?" I mean, not a gun, sorry. "Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir, would you like a flyer?" "Oh no, I see that you have a gun. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Have a nice day." "Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, sir. Would you like a flyer?" "What's it about?" "It's about the Second Amendment, about open carry and the men and..." Yeah, I know what it's all about. And you know, you guys are crazy, and you're the ones that Sandy Hook happened, and you're the murderers, and you guys can all go to hell, and F you, and blah, 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 blah. I know it sounds like you're being a pussy when you say this next part, but say, "Thank you very much, ma'am," or "Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate and support your First Amendment right to say what you have to say. Thank you and have a nice day," and walk away. Don't get into a statistics fighting contest with them. Don't get into a pissing contest with them. Don't start yelling. Don't start cussing at them. Don't even really talk to them. The reason why is when you answer them, "Thank you very much, ma'am, I support your First Amendment right to say so," something along that lines, they're left dumbfounded. And you limit the risk of them getting pissed off and saying, "Well, I'm calling the police." 9 times out of 10, the people who we've carried, the people who we've given flyers to, usually come to our aid, and they're the ones that handle the argument. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. I hand a flyer out to somebody, I educate them a little bit, I walk a little bit down my way, I pass out a flyer. Somebody gets mad and yells and cusses at me. That person I just passed the flyer to comes back to my aid. Ain't that something? So, we're going to be open carrying. I'm not going to ask you to dress like church. I'm not going to ask you to dress like a bum. Dress however you feel like dressing. Make sure your clothing is comfortable. Make sure it's, not going to be uncomfortable for you. Be polite, be courteous. We do not hand out flyers in crosswalks or in the waiting positions for crosswalks. We do not hand out flyers to people on patios or outside areas of restaurants because that's soliciting at their restaurant unless they ask you first. If we're walking down the street and somebody in Can, which is a restaurant, for example, sits out the window and says, "Hey, what are you doing? Let me see your flyer." Then give it to them. Engage the conversation briefly. Try to be on your way. We don't want to upset any restaurant owners or any other customers. I know this sounds messed up, but most homeless people in Cary Street don't want anything to do with our flyers. They want food. They want money. I do not give money out to people. I will buy them food. The reason why I will not give them money is I gave money the last time to somebody in the city. And immediately after I gave them money, when I walked down the street a little bit, I saw them get up, go into 7-Eleven, and buy themselves a 40-ounce beer. I will never do that again. If I have the money and I feel like I want to, I will offer to go into a restaurant, so 7-Eleven and McDonald's, and buy them something. 9 times out of 10, they don't want that. They don't want food. They want drugs or alcohol. So they really don't really offer them the flyers unless they ask. They also have a high mentally impaired homeless people count. And I have nothing against people who are mentally impaired. But they won't understand what we're doing. And just unless they ask about it to you, don't hand them a flyer. Reasons why I chose Cary Street. And I'm going to have to make another video. So, this is going to be a part 3.